Take a look at this baby. He's so perfect to photograph. So why is it some pictures of babies turn out to be anything but perfect? If you find baby photography a challenge, I've got some tricks for you. Coming up, I'll teach you how to turn your baby pictures into family keepsakes. You'll learn how to master the close-up and how to capture your child's personality in your photograph. Get ready. The next picture you take of your baby will be one that your family will treasure forever. Find out how, coming up on The Whole Picture. Welcome to The Whole Picture. I'm Erin Manning. You know, little babies can be one of the easiest subjects to photograph because they're so natural and they don't even know their picture's being taken. But they can also be one of the worst subjects to photograph because of their short attention span and their unpredictable behavior. Add on top of that, a lot of common problems parents make when they're photographing their kids, and you might see the baby as just a little dot in the middle of the picture, or maybe the background is really distracting, or perhaps you weren't able to capture the emotion and personality of the child. Those problems are pretty easy to fix though. Let me show you some examples of baby pictures from my portfolio. Now here you see a little boy, and that's pretty much all you see other than some bubbles in there because the background is not distracting. So we're able to really focus in on him. I got rid of all that background clutter. Here, these are some close-up shots I took, and you know, don't be afraid to get in really close, and also take close-up shots of things other than the face, like the baby's hands or feet. And in this photograph, I was able to show scale between the baby's little hand and her mother's hand. And in these photographs, well, you know, I captured some personality here of this little girl. She was having some fun. Okay, here's some photographs that my student Jessica Greer sent me. Now, she has a little boy who's 5 months old, and she loves to take pictures of him, but she's just not loving the results she's getting. And from the looks of these photographs, I can see why. Now, in this first photograph, it's very distracting. There are just too many colorful toys surrounding her little boy, and you can't really tell where the toys end and he begins. And you know, this is a common problem because a lot of babies have very colorful toys and they're always around. In this photograph, you really want to think about how you're going to set up your photo before you take it. And this is just kind of a bad composition, and do we really want to see these diapers? That's okay though. I'm headed over to Jessica's house in just a little while. I'm going to show her how to take great baby photographs. The first lesson I'll teach is how to unclutter the background and get some photographs where you really just focus in on the child and things are not distracting back there. Next, I'm going to show you how to take some close-up photographs just by using that macro function on your camera. Then I'll give you some great tips on how to visually track the growth of your child in the pictures. Finally, we'll come back here to the studio, work with the images on the computer, and we'll turn them into black and whites. Now, whenever you have pictures of babies, those are just classic, timeless pictures, right? And it's perfect to have a black and white photo. All right, now I'm going to head over to Jessica's, but until I get there, take a look at some of the other baby pictures I took, illustrating the techniques I'm going to teach you today. You can make a change for the better with one simple move. I'll show you a trick every parent needs to know when taking pictures of their baby. And later, toys play an important role in baby photography. We'll show you how. That's next on The Whole Picture. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. While parents love to take photographs of their little ones, they often turn out boring and ordinary. Pictures of babies are prized possessions, so why not make the pictures themselves prize-worthy? Today we're tackling baby photography with my student, Jessica Greer. Now, Jessica loves to take pictures of her new son, Trip, but complains she has a hard time capturing anything that she wants to share with her friends and family. I'm headed over to Jessica's home to help this new mom take pictures she'll want to share with everyone.
Hey, Erin.
Hey,
thanks for coming. Trip's just gotten up from his nap. It's perfect timing.
Great, I can't wait to see him.
Great, come on in. Come on in, Erin. Have a seat.
Okay.
This is my son, Trip.
Oh, hey, Trip, how you doing? He's a cutie.
Thank you.
He'll be a lot of fun to take a photograph of.
Good. These are some photos that I took that I was wondering if you could take a look at.
Okay. Well, they're looking pretty good. Trip's a cutie, but you know what? I'm seeing a lot of extra stuff behind him in the background that's really distracting. Like the electric stove here.
Exactly.
This is a great one. Love the legs coming out of his head.
I didn't even notice that.
Well, there are a lot of important things to pay attention to when you're learning about baby photography and photographing your child. A big one is paying attention to all the things going on in the background behind him when you're taking the picture.
Okay.
Okay? So think about all the other pictures you've probably taken with a lot of distracting things in the background, like, you know, play toys or chairs or things like this.
Yeah, okay.
Not such a great idea.
You don't even think about that kind of stuff.
You don't, because you're focusing right on your child and not
Right.
all the stuff in the background, but it's all this stuff that detracts away from him.
Okay.
So the first thing you want to learn is how to pick a good background. So you want to make sure it's a solid color, maybe something that complements his eyes or his skin tone, or maybe a really fine print, because that way he's really going to pop out of the photograph and
Okay.
the focus will be all on him.
Okay.
So it's really easy. If you just take some time before you take the picture to find that background, it'll make all the difference in the world.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and look around the house and see what we can find
Okay.
that would make a good background.
That sounds good.
Amateur photographers often make the mistake of filling their pictures with 90% background and 10% baby. Instead, train yourself to fill your picture with 90% baby and 10% background. This will help ensure that your baby is the focus of the picture. Also, consider carefully what is in the background. Toys and other baby necessities often get in the way. So before you snap the picture, move those extra items out of the shot. When it comes to background, less is more. Another trap parents fall into is to prop their babies up in a car seat or baby swing to get a great shot, especially if the baby is too young to sit up on his own. But oftentimes, car seats and swings are covered with bright-colored fabrics and busy prints that can distract. Try throwing a plain-colored shawl or blanket over the seat to make the background more serene. Again, this will help your baby become the focus of the picture rather than the background behind him. No matter what you use as a backdrop, just remember to keep the background as uncluttered and simple as possible. Here's another trick I like to do. You can manipulate the background by simply using the zoom. There's a big difference between shooting your baby up close using your zoom as opposed to physically moving closer to the baby. Because of the way your lens works, when you move closer to the baby, your background is still going to be in sharp focus. If you move back from your baby and zoom in, your camera will throw the background out of focus and help isolate your baby from that background. Remember, this is your pride and joy. Make your baby the focus of the image so you'll have pictures you'll be proud of. See what a big difference using that background made?
Yeah.
Just like this one. This is a great one too. Nice light blue, and it goes with your
It
eyes.
does. It looks good with his eyes.
Yeah. Well, you know, another problem I saw in your picture is that you're taking the photographs of Trip from too far away.
Okay.
Almost as if you're taking a picture of another adult. You know, and that's a common mistake a lot of people make. There are a lot of parents that'll photograph their baby from like 10 or 20 feet away, which is really just too far away to capture all the
Okay.
great details in his face or the expression in his eyes. So you want to make sure you get up really close with your camera to your baby to capture all those details.
Okay. I've tried that before, and every time I do it, they always seem to come out really blurry.
Well, okay, that can happen because if you get the camera up too close like this, it's too close for the camera's normal focusing range.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce you to a function on your camera called macro mode. Ever used
Okay.
it?
No.
Okay, it's right on the back here. You just hit the little flower icon.
Okay.
And when you do that, you'll be able to get the camera up really close to your baby and capture all the detail on his skin or maybe capture his little toes.
Oh, I've never even thought about doing that.
Oh yeah, those are great pictures to keep forever. All those little adorable details when they're this age.
Okay, great.
So let's go ahead, we'll turn on the camera and start taking some pictures in macro mode
Great.
and see what a difference it makes.
Okay.
Getting closer to your baby or zooming in allows you to fill the frame more with your precious baby and creates a more powerful photograph. Here's a good exercise. Take a picture of your baby standing as close as your camera's focus will allow. Now for the next shot, Get a little closer and try using your camera's macro function. You'll instantly see a much more compelling photograph with the closer shot. His smile or expression will convey much more emotion. But getting closer doesn't necessarily mean just getting closer to the face. So many parts of your baby's body are precious to photograph. Feet, hands, ears, all of these make compelling close-ups. The macro function on your camera is designed to help you get these extreme close-up shots. In the macro mode, very small, tiny objects can be made to fill the entire frame. And details, like the locks of hair on your baby's head, will be in focus. Activating the macro function is usually done by selecting the small flower icon on your camera. Remember, when taking any photos of your baby, be sure to shut off your flash. Babies' eyes are very sensitive to light, so avoid using a flash whenever taking pictures of babies. Here's another one of my favorite tricks. Don't be afraid to capture your baby even when he's not smiling or happy. A crying baby, sleeping baby, or grumpy baby makes for an interesting photograph, and a close-up of those emotions will be a treasure for your family album. For more detail on using the macro mode on your camera or on photographing babies, visit our website at DIYnetwork.com. You'll also find more baby pictures there. Your baby will grow up in the blink of an eye. Up next, I'll show you how to chart your baby's growth in pictures so you can build a one-of-a-kind photo album. In most families, photographing babies is a time-honored tradition, but parents too often make critical mistakes when capturing those memories. For much more compelling photographs, minimize background clutter and make your baby the real focus of the pictures. And don't be afraid to get very close to give your family a different perspective on your child. But did you ever think of using photographs to size up your child's growth? Welcome back to The Whole Picture. I'm Erin Manning, and I'm working with Jessica Greer today on a lesson in baby photography. Now, Jessica, you said your son Tripp is about 5 months old,
That's
right?
right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and still growing.
Oh, yes, he's growing like a weed.
Well, and that's good lungs, too.
Yes, he has excellent lungs.
I have a great idea for your family photo album.
Oh.
And that is charting his growth.
Okay, kind of like you do on the wall with the little markings?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
But the way we do it is where we can use different objects or props around your house, like this teddy bear. We take a picture of him next to the teddy bear or next to this book. And this way we can really see the difference in perspective of his size.
Okay.
So if we were to take a picture of him without comparing him to anything, then it would be really difficult to see his growth, right? So if we always take his picture next to, say, this teddy bear, it'll be really easy for us to chart his growth.
Great.
As babies grow, their facial expressions may stay the same from 1 month to another, but their size will undoubtedly change. To chart your baby's growth in pictures, pick a prop or a favorite toy and use it over and over again throughout a period of time. Try to photograph your child in the same spot every time and prop the toy next to the child as a visual reference. Take the same photograph from month to month, year to year, and before you know it, you'll have a measuring tape built right into your baby's photo album. It's a really unique way to chart your baby's growth. Props and toys are not only helpful in showing your baby's size in a photo, but also a welcome distraction to get your baby to cooperate at the photo shoot. Toys that make noise are a great way to keep your baby's attention while you try to fire off that perfect shot. Hold a ball up over your head or squeeze a noisemaker next to your lens to get your baby to look in the direction of the camera. Have fun with your baby photographs. You don't want to miss out on any of those great moments, so keep snapping. Okay, Jessica, here's the final tip of the day.
Okay.
Great thing to do whenever you're setting up the camera is use the self-timer mode on the camera, and that way you can get in the shot too.
Okay.
All right?
Great.
Feel like you're ready?
I am.
Okay, start taking pictures on your own. Go ahead and practice. Play with all the props and the backgrounds. I'm gonna head out to my studio, but I'll see you tomorrow and we'll take a look at all the pictures.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. Up next, it's time to see if Jessica has captured Tripp's personality or if she'll be the one crying like a baby. And I've got one final tip that will make this mom proud. That's coming up on The Whole Picture. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. Photographing babies is a challenging task, but the rewards are well worth it when you capture that perfect shot. To get a much more emotional, compelling photograph of your baby, you have to close in on your close-ups and pay careful attention to your background. But taking the picture is only part of the process. Jessica is meeting me at my studio to learn how to get the most out of her baby pictures. So easy to take pictures of.
Thanks.
Did you get some good pictures after I left?
I did.
Okay, great. Well, I already went ahead and downloaded them into the computer.
Okay.
So let's click through and find one you really like.
That's cute.
That's great right there. You're getting in really close and getting rid of all that background clutter.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Great personality. Love
Yep.
how his eyes are also the same color as the blanket. That's good.
That does make a difference. I like that.
And great close-up shot. Nice.
Oh, I like that.
Me too. I love
really
how
sweet.
it's just, you're showing the scale of your hand and his little foot. Very nice. And nice background too.
With this solid color blanket, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's what he looks like when he's tired.
You have to capture everything.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
That's a great one. You know what? Let's use this one and turn it into a black and white.
Okay.
All right. Let's come up here to the top to the menu bar. Click on File.
Okay.
We're going to roll down to Save As.
Okay.
And just save it under a different name. That way we're working on a copy and we can archive the original. And just
Okay.
click on Save. All right. And then click OK. Now we're going to go in and actually desaturate this. We're going to get rid of the color and turn it into a black and white. So the first thing we'll do is come up here to Enhance in the menu bar, roll down to Adjust Color, and then very carefully roll over to Remove Color. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, now it's black and white, but it's looking a little muddy. So we want to alter the contrast. So let's come back up here to Enhance and roll down to Adjust Color again. You know where this one is. Okay, now we're going to go down to Color Variations.
Okay.
And this gives us a great window to work with because you can see the before and after shot here.
Right.
It gives us lots of different ways to darken, lighten it, and even add back in a little color if we want that. Like, you know, those great old sepia photographs.
Yeah.
Okay, right now we're in the shadows. So let's go ahead and darken the shadows a little bit. Just click on Darken a couple times.
One more time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now let's also work on the highlights. Click on the highlights button over here and maybe lighten those up a little bit.
Okay.
You're just kind of altering the contrast here, playing with it. Click one more time. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. And you know what, if you make any mistakes, don't worry because there's an undo button. You can always click on that.
Okay, great.
All right, let's go ahead and click OK and print this out.
Okay.
We want to save it first, so let's come up here to go File in the menu bar, roll down to Save.
Okay.
Okay, now it's saved, let's print it out. Come back up here to File, and then you'll roll back down to Print. And we've got some great paper in this printer. It's big, so we can print up a nice big picture.
Okay,
So to do that, let's click on Page Setup to begin with, and make sure we're setting up the page correctly.
Okay.
All right, now our printer, let's click on this and format it for the printer that we're using. And click on that, and it's this one right here, 1800. Okay? Now the paper size we're using is 13 by 19, so let's set that also. Click on that, roll down here to 13 by 19. Okay, now it's all set up because we're going to print this landscape because it's a horizontal picture. So just click on that little middle icon right there. Go ahead and click on Print. If you'd like to learn more about baby photography, converting your photographs to black and white, or any of the techniques you saw here today, just log on to our website at DIYnetwork.com. Okay, Jessica, do you feel like the lessons today were helpful?
Absolutely. I really learned a lot. I never used to think about taking things out of the background and zooming in close to his features and all that kind of thing.
That's great. Well, I think you learned a lot.
I did.
Let's take a look at your fabulous black and white print.
Oh, I love it. That is going to make a great grandparent gift.
You're right.
I love it.
They will love it. He's beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, you really got in close here and captured his personality, and there is no cluttered background to see.
Exactly.
And it looks great in black and white.
It does.
Okay, well, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you so much for all your help.
You're welcome. And you know what? Always bring that camera with you because the more pictures you take, the better you get.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
I hope you'll use what you learned today and take your own great baby pictures. Join me next time on The Whole Picture. That's great. Let's